this on record. Hello? Okay. Hopefully this works now. Alright. Okay. So I will show you my neutral ForestCraft deck. And let's see. Show you what it is. Preview. I'll be right back. Okay. So I'll scroll to the other side so you can see what's all in the deck. I got this deck idea from Blue Reboot on YouTube. So if you want to get some good deck ideas, I think he's got some good ones. This is where it came from. I don't know how similar it is to his. Very similar. I don't know if it's card for card, but you can check out his channel on YouTube. I got some deck ideas as well. That's where I got this one. I'm not going to show mine. It's pretty similar though. Pretty sure some probably slight variations is what I'd really say. Anyway, this deck is actually really good. I thought. I was really surprised about how well it worked. 2 fairy circles. Fairies are always nice. With a ForestCraft deck, 1 Lyrial, 2 roaches, which are very important with this deck. They can get you that chip damage to the face or knock out that one pesky opponent, but that's not ideal. Really what you want them to do is hit the enemy leader with a good 3 to 4 on them. The fairies can help boost those roaches up. Very, very important cards, that roach. Goblin Mage, I own 2 of them. Not for any particular reason other than Blues and Blue Reboots deck. Other than that. But Goblin Mage can get you some more cards in your hand after you play it, and it's a neutral card, so Alice in Wonderland can power it up. So that's good there as well. I only run 2. I run 2 Alice in Wonderlands. Angelic Knight is actually quite good. Maybe on the surface it doesn't look quite good, but with this particular deck I think it does well. I put Actress Faria in here first. I didn't like her very much in the deck, and I'm not saying she's a bad card, but you have to evolve her to get the effect. And to be honest, most times I find myself wanting to evolve others beyond her more. So, yeah. So I put Angelic Knight in her place. This gives you ward and a +1 to an allied follower, which I think is great in this deck. And since Goblin Mage is neutral, and it gets you that 2-point follower, Alice in Wonderland can be used for it, which is very, very nice. 2 Unicas just to kind of be able to get that HP stuff. But mainly it's just kind of there, just the Alice in Wonderland, just something, a decent 2-drop with a decent ability, with a good ability. your opponent is going to want to kill Unico. So it's practically a warder in all sense of the practically a warder in all sense of the word there. This guy's amazing. Gets the ultimate carrot, which gives you cards for Beauty and the Beast, Will of the Forest, and stuff like that. And I run 2 into Looking Glasses. You draw a card after you play it, so you know that's pretty neat. And also, you can change all cards in your hand that cost 7 play points or less into neutral cards. Strictly pretty much for Beauty and the Beast and possibly a Sylvan Elder, and also maybe for Flower Princess here too. Which, I wasn't sure about Flower Princess in the beginning. But having that 4 defense saves you from Blackened Scripture, Priest of the Cudgel, things like that, and it's as a pretty decent HP in terms of defense for a 4-drop and a fantastic ability. Whether you're just putting 2 fairies in your hand and that Thorn Burst, but let me tell you about that Thorn Burst though. It's a 2 play point spell. It does 3 damage to an enemy, and that includes the leader. So don't doubt that Thorn Burst. I have won many a game with that Thorn Burst in this deck. It's a very good card. Hector's very good. It's a warder. You can do 3 damage to an enemy if you have at least 3 neutral cards in your hand. Very fantastic card. Very pleased with the value he brings to the deck. Kindly Treant. It is actually a really good card too. If you have 3 neutral cards in your hand, you can play them on turn 3, get a 3/4 drop on turn 3, which is really awesome with Ward. That's better than what you could get with Elf Guard, which I believe was a 2/4, and this is a 3/4. And you won't be able to get the Elf Guard out until turn 4 with that, generally, anyway. So there's that to consider. At least on terms of that basis. Like, if it's later in the game, he only needs 2 cards played, while this needs 3 neutral cards in your hand. But for my purposes, I just think this is the better card to go to for this deck. We also run Angel of the Word. Now, maybe, again, another one that looks on the surface kind of crappy, 3 for 2/2. But it does 1 damage to an enemy. Honestly, I'm very surprised at how well that this card has particularly what kind of how valuable that this card can be, especially early game and even late game, because that 1 damage can be to the enemy leader, and you never know when that 1 damage is just going to come in handy. And also, Angel of the Word, she can be boosted by Alice in Wonderland, and that's always a good plus with this deck. Also run 2 Snowfield Warriors here for the rush attack, the rush ability, and I believe this one came from Wonderland Dreams as well. And when this follower attacks and destroys an enemy follower, gain +1/+1 if this follower is not destroyed. So you rush, probably going to take down a 2/2 or 3/3, and then even if you evolve it, it's not a waste, because he still gets +1/+1, which I think is worthy of the 3/3 and a 4-drop in of itself. So you could essentially have a 6/1 floating around, which has got to go. So your enemy is going to be pretty much focused on getting rid of this guy. And Rush always comes in handy a lot. So he's really, really good, I think. You got Goblin Princess here. You can put 2 goblins on the board, and you get Goblin King in your hand, which gives you that neutral card in your hand if you need one for any of the other cards that I play in here. And she's really just fills the board up, with goblins for Alice in Wonderland, and that's where the Actress Faria would have came in handy. But honestly, I can see why Actress Faria is a good card, but honestly, I didn't want this deck to be a rush deck, and I think she'd be good for a rush deck for sure. But I just didn't want this deck to be a rush deck. It's not. It's definitely not a rush deck. It's aggressive, but it's I think less aggressive without the Faria in it. Um, so this is a highly aggressive deck, but it's its main focus isn't just get a bunch of followers and power. I'm not really focusing on the powering up my followers here. I'm really focused on getting followers onto the board. I don't care if they get powered up or not. I just want followers on the board. And the Actress Faria was if you had cards on the board, then you evolve her, and then they get powered up. But I have tried rush decks in the past and doing those kinds of strategies, and they've always bit me in the butt. And to focus on, I just think to focus on. I'm not saying it's a bad idea if you think you can pull it off, but just from my own personal experiences, every time I did try a particular rush kind of a deck, it was a very rare occasion where I was really able to pull out a win since I was focused on that. Whereas the focus with here is just to get cards out and fill the board up with cards and just kind of attack the enemy leader to the face. And one execution and one dance of death. Dance of death is awesome because it also gets you 2 damage to the leader, which is very good with this deck. 2 Will of the Forest for control of the board. 2 Beauty and the Beast, which I did try in another deck prior to this deck, but it just didn't work out. I don't know why it didn't really work. Every time I played Beauty and the Beast, even with the 3 neutral cards in my hand, it just didn't work out. I just couldn't. I still can't conceive why it just didn't work out. But yet in this deck, it works wonders. And I don't know why in this deck does it work wonders, but why in the other deck did it not work wonders? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't get it. Like, really, I really don't. Like, this card has won me a couple matches and definitely threw my opponent off through the ringer. And I still can't understand why it wasn't good in the other deck I had, but it's good in this one. Whatever. And Sylvan Elder, it's a warder also. And if you have 3 neutral cards in hand, you get +1/+1. You never know when that comes in handy. But I only know one of them. So again, don't really worry about it. It's just kind of there if it's there. And I run 1 Homecoming. You never know when that's going to come in handy. Specifically for if a Havencraft gets a bunch of Arias up. Oh man, that's the worst. When they get those Arias up. And then you got a bunch of those to deal with, and they got 4 drops everywhere, and you can't do anything, or zombies. So it's good for that. And it actually activates probably by the time they'd fill the board up, and by the time zombies come out. A zombie party. So I think I talked about pretty much every card in the deck here. Oh, Goblin Leader. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Awesome card. Very awesome. Fills up the board. You know what I'm saying? Typically what I do with the Goblin, sometimes I will actually evolve the Goblin, even if I'm not attacking anything, just to kind of make them last another turn to get that extra Goblin. Because that's the goal of the deck. Just kind of fill the board and attack the face. Control the board if needed, but really you just want to kind of attack the face. So it is aggressive, but it's not, you don't really care to power up your units or anything. You just kind of want them there. So that's this deck. Hope you liked it, and I hope you try it out. And remember, I did get this deck idea from Blue Reboot on YouTube. If you wanted to get some good ideas with Shadowverse, I would definitely recommend looking at his channel. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace out.